Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. How about those Lakers? How about those Lakers? They are the world champion Lakers for the 17th time. Only took 10 years to get back to being the world champion Lakers. I thought that was so cool. I wish they had won the game on Friday, but we can handle it. I don't know why my thingy does this to me. I am trying to come into my channel, but I think it kicked me over to my other channel. It always does this to me, y'all. Anyway, I decided that I was gonna talk a little bit about the Lakers and just how this was a phenomenal season under the circumstances. And really, LA needed this, y'all. LA needed this. You know, um, with Kobe, somebody's dog's in the neighborhood, y'all. Somebody's dogs are going off in the neighborhood. Okay, so I gotta switch channels. And I know why I have to do this. So you guys know I am grinding to get my hours, and so I'm running my playlist on my backup channel. And every time that I come on here to do my lives, I have to stop my backup channel, stop it playing. And yeah, it wants to flip between the two channels. So it's been a little bit of a challenge with that. Let me just turn down the volume because I do believe I'm on my right channel now, if it'll let me. In the meantime, y'all are gonna hear me in the background. Okay, now I think I can turn down the volume. My poor Mac is dying because I am working it 24 hours a day right now, y'all. Okay, there we go. There we go. I got the volume down. Okay. Please smash that like button. Let me just get myself together here and do a little bit of my administrative work. I think I can share myself out. I think I'm on the right one now. Let's see. My computer. Trying to get it to do what I need it to do. But in the meantime, while my laptop decides whether it's going to allow me to watch the video, be in the chat or not, moving on. So there has been so much so much talk about submission and about some statements that Jeannie Mai made in regards to Jeezy. And I just decided, I said, I'll give a little bit of my own commentary in regards to that. But before I do that, I want to give shouts out to JV Dessalines, who did 2 really good lives in regards to this. I want to give shouts out to Uppity Unicorn, who also did a really great live earlier today in regards to this. I think she may be even live right now, so she'll hear this later. And then lastly, but certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to Sister Love Wisdom, who also spoke in regards to this. So, Jeannie Mai is one of the co-hosts on The Real. Okay. And, previously she was married to a white man. And now she is engaged to Jeezy. Okay. And I guess she was the topic of submission came up. I'm really not sure how it came up on The Real, but she talked about her being submissive to him in the home, and that she is a dominant woman, and she's a boss at work, and she didn't want to be the boss at home, but she kind of gave a criteria, so to speak, of how she would be submissive. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about this because I'm an elder, and I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of somebody who's a lot older than Jeannie, and just the age group that's really struggling with this word submission and how it's being used, really. Okay, so let's get back into it. So, Jeannie gave her caveats, whatnot, for it, but I think it triggered a lot of black women, and probably triggered some black men too, because most of us have the idea in our head of the biblical version of submission, where the Bible says, you know, husbands submit unto your wives submit unto your husbands as they submit unto the Lord. Okay. And there's a definition about submission. And I think that people have different ideas of what submission is. Now, if we're talking about the biblical, or the way that people interpret the biblical submission, then this is talking about, where a woman cleaves to her husband, submits to her husband as he submits unto God. And it's really talking about when this person has a relationship with God, then you would not have a problem submitting to them, because they're not going to be doing anything that's going to disrespect the household or disrespect the wife. But the biblical version of submission also takes into consideration the Proverbs 31 woman. And the Proverbs 31 woman submits to her husband, but she also has businesses. She runs the household and she also runs businesses. A lot of people don't talk about that part, you know, and yet and still, she, from what we can see, is in a traditional, role. She starts her work before everyone else does because she's not only doing work at home, but she's doing work outside of the home. And I think this would be, you know, characterized like women, many women of today. But I think a lot of people had issue with Jeannie Mai's definition of submission because it's not the traditional submission and it's not really being submissive. It's really, to me, more, she's talking about having a partnership where outside of her business adventures, they're a team. And he is going to consider, you know, her, she's going to bring her stuff to it, he's going to bring his stuff to it, and they're going to do it together. Now, I do understand the point of view that JV had about it. It kind of seemed like she was talking project management, but I don't think that that's what she meant. But I also don't think that the way that Jeannie Mai is coming into this relationship, that she has any intention of being the quote unquote traditional submissive, as people think, Asian woman. And I don't think that that's what Jeezy is expecting. Now, there was a point that JV made in her live, and for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch them, I have posted a link to both her first and her second live in regards to this in my community tab. So you can get that information, because she had panels on. She didn't really have a panel on the first one. She kind of had a few people on up there, but she had, the panel situation going on both of them, and we had men. She had men from the manosphere up there in both situations, and I understood what she was saying because, although Yeezy is worth a lot of money, you know, it's like you can take the ghetto, you can take the guy out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out the guy with him. And he still has that, that mentality, and still operates in that at this age. Even with the money, he still has that thug mentality. And one of the points that JV was bringing up is if they were in, networking or event situations with people that would be around, that he would have to maybe acclimate, and maybe she would have some words with him. But here's my point of view in regards to that. Jeannie Mai might try to have some words with Yeezy in regards to things, but I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I think that he would be able to be in those situations and still be himself, and still be his authentic self. I don't see him as the type of dude that's gonna change himself around, other folks. And although Jeannie does kind of circle in some of those circles, she has primarily been in the urban circles. She's not really in the circles you know, with her Asian counterparts, you know, and before her relationship with her ex-husband, she seemed to have an affinity for black men in the first place, and a certain type of black man, and GZ is that type of black man. But you know, like, I don't take issue with what she said, because, to be perfectly honest, that is the way that a lot of women view themselves being submissive. Is, you know, I'm gonna be who I am when I'm at work, running everything, you know, but when I'm at home, then I'm gonna be submissive to my man. Um, and that might work, you know, but I think, this is just my opinion, coming from an older position, if you're going to submit to this person, number one, it needs to be someone that you trust. Otherwise, why are you why would you even be with that person? And why be with someone who you're not comfortable submitting to? Hey, uppity, I shouted you out before you came in, sis. I sure did. I shouted you out. I was shouting out you, JV, and Love Wisdom, with all of you guys, you know, kind of giving you guys views in regards to the Jeannie Mai and submissions situation. But I'm just really talking about submission as a whole. You know, I think people have so many different definitions of what submission is. And I think that there are a lot of women that have the same kind of idea of submission that Jeannie Mai does. You know, they are bosses, you know, in the office and in their businesses and everything. And they don't want to be superwoman at home. They want to have a man that makes all the decisions outside of that, you know. And is that a being submissive? I don't know about that. You know, that's, you know, just really allowing your mate to lead some. Oh no, you did good, uppity unicorn. You did really good, and you did good in your own broadcast too. I know. They just want to be heard. They just want to say something. But I think that in the end, the panel that JV had, I think that we did come to a consensus, and the men agreed that, you know, what Jeannie Mai is talking about is not what we consider submission. Okay, and the brothers that are looking at what she's saying and twisting that around on sisters, there are plenty of sisters who will submit to the right man. But we are not fools, and we will not submit to just any man. That's just it. We just won't. We just won't. We just won't submit to just any old man. I know it took, what, 3 hours? 3 hours to get them to agree. You know, and more power to Jeannie, because, you know, hey, here's the reality. Even though she's not worth a whole bunch, she is actually coming into that relationship with Yeezy with something. And I guess, you know, from her perspective, she don't want him messing with what she got. Yes, he knows how to run his stuff, but she feels that she can run her own daggone stuff, and she's going to continue to run her own stuff because she's had to do it all this time. However, she will take some advice from him, but she making the final decision in her businesses. That's what she said. I heard it clear. And, you know, I don't understand why Lonnie took offense with it. You know, everybody's jumping all over, you know, all over what Jeannie Mai said. But let's talk about my soror, who was up there, who seemed to have an issue with it. Like, I don't know. Maybe, you know, Lonnie's one of these black one of these women who has a problem submitting to a man at all. Maybe she does. Because she had a problem with, you know, and it's probably because, you know, also too, Lonnie know Yeezy's a pookie. he, you know, yeah, he got a whole bunch of money, but, you know, no. Jeannie was very clear in what she said, uppity. It was very clear that I run my businesses and I'm in charge of that, but you can be in charge of everything else in my life, but not my business. That's what she was saying. I mean, who's confused about that? You know? And so that's not what we talk about, because see, here's the thing. Most black women, if we are saying that we're going to submit, then that means, you know, we're submitting. I mean, even if we've got a job and everything, yeah, we're doing our thing and all of that stuff. But when it comes to making decisions, we all make the decision. You know, I don't make the decision, or she doesn't make the decision independent from her mate. You know, that's the way it's supposed to be. No, they weren't confused. They weren't confused. They just wanted to be antagonistic. They just wanted to be antagonistic about the whole situation. That is what it was. They were just trying to be antagonistic. Let me see, where are we? I don't know why I always come on here with my battery on my phone about to die. But here's the thing. I don't have no problem with Jeannie Mai being with Yeezy. Do any of we don't want that man. Don't none of us want him. So if she trick him, she trick him. If she running game on him, she running game on him. Let me just be real about that. We don't want him. We don't see him as a high value man. He has money, but I don't see him as a high value man. He got issues going on. There's some issues with his character. I know he always comes in and, you know, he says all of his stuff, and, you know, I mean, the general's cool and everything, but I guess I have to come from but I'm older than all of these people. Okay. So, you know, he's thinking he's coming in and talking because he's older than everybody that's up on the panel. except for Mella. Mella's, I think, the only one that might be a little bit older than him. I think Mella's closer in age to me. I don't know. But anyway, she's always talking how old she is. But yeah, no, he gets. You just got to take the general with a grain of salt, uppity. You know what I'm saying? You just got to take him with a grain of salt. That's why I said you just got to take him with a grain of salt, especially if he's trying to making it personal. Yeah, just don't deal with him. And he hadn't been coming around. He just started coming back around too. So, you know, I know. Yeah, I was listening. I was kind of in the clouds for most of it because I was in an autism support group meeting, and they were just talking about you know when services might be coming back because so many of our kids and young adults are sitting around here with no services right now. I don't know what's going on in other states, with kids who are in special ed or with adults that are, you know, have developmental disabilities with services. I don't know what's going on in other states. I just know right now in California it's horrific, you know, and they need to figure something out, you know. I hate when people hit. Oh, I know. I don't even understand, why most people don't just stay in the chat. Just stay in the chat and say what you have to say in the chat. I very rarely jump up on panels. Very rarely. I was on Fourth Quarter Talks panel on Saturday because I was talking about finances. But when it comes to a lot of the topics and everything, not that I don't have anything to say, but you know, I don't. I'm not trying to get on up and debate people about things because most likely it doesn't matter what you say. I'm probably not going to change my mind about how I feel. So yeah, it's a waste of energy for me. And I saw that Queen Mayat was trying to do a debate today. I don't know if she was able to do it. She was going to be doing a debate. I guess she wanted someone to debate her on whether or not Yeshua was real. And I started watching the replay of it. I didn't finish watching it, but it's so interesting to me that so many of us have issues with Yeshua. I'm not talking about Jesus. That's what they decided his name was. I'm talking about Yeshua. You know, and why so many of us have just issues, I guess, with the whole concept of God sending his son down. Now, granted, you know, much has been diluted. But even the Jews who may not believe that Yeshua was the Messiah, because they're still waiting for one, but they too believe that God's going to send his son. They just don't believe that he's already come. But yeah, I'm interested to see if someone got up there and debated her. Yeah. Oh, I'm not. I don't argue. I don't debate. I mean, I listen to what people have to say. Um, but I'm still gonna have my own opinion. But I appreciated how JV broke the whole situation down with Jeannie Mai, because really, I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't giving it that much energy. I wasn't even giving it that much energy. Because I mean, she said what she said. It is what it is. Um, ain't none of us trying to be with this dude. She can have him. Because I don't know, but men who put their hands on their kids like he did his son, that's a character flaw to me. And I'm probably not going to want to be with that person. I'm not going to even be attracted to him. So, you know. But hey, she loves him, you know, and I'm sure she's not going to allow this man to put his hands on her. She don't look like the type. But I do believe that in the end, after all the debating and going back and forth, you know, I think that the men understood the point that was being made by the women in the first place. I think that they were just trying to, you know, get a good debate out of it, you know. But the people who are all, mixed up and confused and under some delusion, that Jeannie Mai is the epitome of a submissive woman, have missed the boat. First of all, I don't even think the quote unquote submissive woman, you know, that people think about happens to be Japanese women. And I don't even think that I don't think Jeannie's Japanese anyway. I think she's Vietnamese. Yeah, but the stereotype of submissive women comes from Japanese women. And the stereotype is just that, a stereotype. It's not even true. It's not even true. I mean, that's just like the same thing where, you know, black men are under some delusion that white women are more passive and more agreeable. Women are women. We all can have an attitude. We all can be agreeable. We all know how to be submissive if we want to be. That's not a race thing. I know. There's some. See, those are punks, you know. But see, in my family, if people find out that a man has put his hands on women in my family, something might happen to them. Because that's how the men in my family roll about men putting their hands on women. Which is exactly why my own situation, my father never knew about it. I still haven't told my dad about it. And I have told my son's dad that it would be in his best interest to never tell my dad. And I told him because I don't want my dad to go to jail. Okay? Now, my dad's 81 years old now. So at this particular point in life, but still, he knows how to shoot a gun. Okay? And I believe October is, God, there's so many things in October. October is National Domestic Violence Month. It is also National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I believe it is also National Epilepsy Awareness Month. 3 different things for the month of October. But yeah, you do have some men who are abusive. But here's the thing. Those men who do those kind of things, they are still in the minority. Still in the minority. And any woman who's going to allow some man to beat on her and her kids, well, we do not need to be punching bags. But what I will say in a domestic violence situation, that it doesn't work, trying to help somebody get out until they're ready to get out. Unfortunately, you have women that will go right back to men that have put their hands on them. It's sad, but it's true. You know? Sad but true. Sad but true. Nobody wants to talk but you, uppity. Everybody's in the clouds. Everybody's in the clouds. But that's okay, Because y'all know I don't do the arguing back and forth kind of panels. If I do panels, my panels are more for education and more for commentary and more for discussion. But yeah, we ain't getting up here arguing about about this Jeannie my chick. Hey, Miss Mahogany. Hey, D Darrell. But yeah, Jeannie Mai was very, very clear about what she would submit to. She was not saying that she was going to be submissive in all areas of her life. It was quite clear. And so she is not the epitome of a submissive woman. Period. She's just not. Hey, misunderstood. Yeah, uppity has some fire going on in the uppity girl. That the one that you did about that guy who allowed his child to die in the car because he was too cheap to let somebody bust a window. I'm like, what kind of mess is that? That guy is the lowest of the lows. He's somebody who should not have been a parent. And personally, if I was anybody who was around him, including that child's mother, I don't give a good goddamn. I'd have busted that window immediately. F what he thinks. F his window. So I hope they put him under the jail. Under the jail, never to come from under it. See, maybe Miss Jeannie Mai will, maybe she's learning submission. I do think that, you know, see, here's the thing. Jeannie hangs around sisters, okay? So I don't think that the talk about submission was something that came up just when, you know, in with her and Jeezy. I think that she had already made up her mind about this before she even got with this dude, when she was coming out of her past marriage. She had already decided that the next person she was going to be with, this is the way it's going to be. I'm going to be clear going in on what I will and will not do. And he doesn't have a problem with it. So I don't even understand. You've had some fire videos. No, exactly, Mahogany. Not every man deserves a woman to submit to them. Because not every man is a leader. Not every man's a leader. But they have been losing their minds about the Jeannie Mai statement for the last few days. Losing their minds about it. I mean, it's been all over YouTube. I mean, it hasn't just been in the smaller channels. Some of the bigger channels have been talking about it as well. Shouts out to Joby Beauty, who also has had conversation about it. She didn't have a problem with what Homegirl said. Because she wasn't looking at it from the perspective that this was a non-black woman having this conversation with a man. She just looked at it from the perspective, this is a woman who's a boss, who's going to be going into a relationship with a man, and she wants to maintain her boss status, but she don't want to be superwoman all the time. Uppity, and that's what I'm saying. That panel that you had about the guy, I just watched the replay of it. I don't know. I think I had you came on live, right? Like you came on live after I had gone off, and I caught it. I I caught it like in the middle of the night, like right after you had finished the live. But you're doing some really good live, Uppity. And you're doing very good videos. So I would just keep doing just what I said before. Just do you. Continue to do you. Because like you said, all of that stuff was 2 years ago. So continue doing exactly what you're doing, putting out the content that you wanted to put out in the first place. Yeah, I listened to part of that when Uppity, I was in the clouds because I was cooking dinner. I listened to part of that one in the clouds. And but the but I've been saying that this whole time, Uppity. None of us know each other on YouTube. We just know people on here. Very few of us on this platform have met off the platform. I mean, like for me, what I was going to do was my idea is that this summer just passed, you know, I was going to go to the YouTube convention because it's out here in California, and I thought that would have been a perfect time to meet some of these content creators that I talked to. But there was no YouTube convention this year. So maybe next year, because, by then I will be a monetized channel. You know, right now I'm just trying, if I can get my supporters to 2K, I would be a happy, 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 happy person. But my main focus right now is organic growth and getting these hours. I haven't even looked at my hours since the last time I looked at it, where I was around when I had just under 900 hours to go. But I know that I've I've been watching my live streams. Other people have been watching my live streams, and and I've been listening. I'm like, dang, I had some really good live streams. I had, even though we talk about random, not so random topics, but by, most of the time I don't pre-plan. I don't have my shows planned out days in advance. It's generally that day. It's generally based on stuff that happened that day or within the last couple of days. Like when I had my show on Saturday night, I was talking about the super spreader that. All right, can you guys hear me? Am I back? Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Am I back? I kicked myself out of the chat. Sorry. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I see. I can see. I can see my thingy moving. So I guess you can hear me. That guy with the baby. I told you. If they don't put him up under the jail, he needs to be in solitary confinement. They cannot put him in general pop. They put him in general pop, he's dead. I want him to serve every day. I want him to remember his daughter every day for a long ass time. I want them to make sure he don't have no sheets, no shoestrings, no nothing. So he can't be a coward and commit suicide. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Wait, give me 1 second. My microphone is tangled up. Okay. All right. Now, y'all should be able to hear me better now. My microphone was. What do you have in the microwave? I know you better not be eating my chicken. Y'all, I gotta watch my son. He will eat all my food on me. So my hometown team got stomped by the Los Angeles Rams yesterday. I was not happy. I mean, it was just embarrassing. It's already embarrassing enough that we don't have a name. I mean, we are the only team in the NFL that was made to change their name. Weren't the only ones that are offensive, mind you, but we're the only ones who had to change our names. His mother, his sister, his ever co-signing for him. I know. I don't even want to hear it. He needs to die. Maybe they should just put him to death. Put him in a hot-ass car and let his brain fry, like his daughter's brain fried. That's what they need to do. Yeah. That would suit the crime. Get out of the oven. But I can't believe, so what about that baby? Did anybody care about that baby? They only cared about the damn car and the car window and him? Get the hell out of here with that. Yeah, he's a piece of you know what. Several pieces of it. Several pieces of it. I mean, that to me, that's horrifying. And they ain't talking too much about it either. They too busy talking about other stupid stuff. Oh, like whether Jeannie Mai is going to submit or not submit to Yeezy. And whether she is the epitome of submission. She's not. She's not really submitting to Yeezy either. So, who's still confused about that? Who's still confused about that? Who is still confused about whether or not Jeannie Mai is going to be a submissive woman? I can show you what a submissive woman is, and it's not just barefoot and pregnant. Okay? And you can be submissive to your husband and not be a stay-at-home mom or your man. Okay? It's, submitting to his vision, and hopefully his vision is your vision. But women know how to get what they want, even in the quote-unquote submissive position. We know how to get the man to do what we want. We know how to do that. And if you don't, you will learn. There are tricks, you know, even with the man being the head of the household, with a woman being able to get the things that she wants without emasculating her man. That's the thing that, a lot of younger women don't understand. And when Jeannie Mai is talking about herself being dominated, she need, as long as she understands, she needs to pull back and not emasculate that man. And I'm sure she knows how to not emasculate him in the situation. The day the baby wasn't the baby in a car seat, locked in the car. I just don't understand. I don't understand the entire situation. How this man could be more worried about his, y'all, I was about to say a word, his effing window and the cost of his window more than his daughter's life. And then had the money to bail himself out. And that was more than it would have cost to replace the freaking window. That part. He had that money. So guess what? That means he would have been able to get the money to fix his window. And he could have saved his daughter's life. Her body was in, yeah, because she probably convulsed. She probably convulsed. She probably convulsed and stroked from the heat. Fried her little brain. That's probably what happened. And that's probably why her body was stiff. Everybody should not be a parent. Some people are just egg donors and sperm donors. Some people are simply egg donors and sperm donors. They should not be parents. This man, with his Ultima driving ass, should not have been a parent. And I hope somebody sets that car on fire. Burns it up. He don't need the car. You know, somebody they need to destroy that car, like his daughter's life was destroyed, because he cared more about that car than he cared about his child. Like, what kind of human being is that? Disgusting. A disgusting human being. That's what kind of human being it is. Absolutely disgusting. And I know that nothing that they do is going to really be justice for that child, short of him going to the electric chair. What state was that in? What state was the Ultima guy? Was it in Georgia? Does anybody know what state it was in? Is it a state that has the death penalty? You know, because that little child's life mattered. And in this situation, her father, it happened in Nevada. I don't think they have the death penalty in Nevada. He should have known better. Clark County. I don't think they have the death penalty in Nevada. So and sadly enough, they won't give him life in prison. Children's lives aren't worth that much. Children and old people's lives are not worth that much a lot of times. I bet you they won't give him life. I bet you'll get something crazy like just 10 years. I bet you they'll give him something crazy like 10 years. Because they do not value little black girls' lives. Let me just be honest with you. A white child, it might be different. But a little black girl, and it was her parent, especially since, unfortunately, this happens all the time. People leave their kids in the car with the windows rolled up. It happens every summer. Every single summer it happens. Me, I don't give a damn about a window. I'd have a busted window. Like, what's the most a window could cost to fix? 2, 3, 4 max. $400 is the max. And he couldn't do that. He couldn't ride around with a broken window for a minute and an alive child. That's all I'm saying. It's just the choices that people make. Clearly, his car was worth more to him than the child. That's what I'm saying. These little babies, they're not going to talk about it. They're not talking about them. They're not going to. This man is not going to go to jail for a long time for killing his child. He's not. It's going to be. I don't think they would even. I don't even think they're going to consider it second degree. I think it's going to be considered manslaughter. I'm telling y'all the way I think that the law is going to see it. It's crazy. Let me come on, because my phone is going to die. I promise you it's about to die. All right. Hey, everyone. David's coming over. Come on. Hurry up. Look at the camera. Say hi. Okay. He has to do that. If he's here and I end my show, he has to come over and do that.
Okay.
It's a thing for him to do that on camera for y'all.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Let me get off of here. I will see you guys tomorrow because I'm sure there'll be something else to talk about. There always is. But, of course, in the morning, I will get on and do my 1 minute good morning and give y'all whatever good news I have to give for the day. But until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming through and thank you for smashing that button. Peace.